So today's Thursday, May 9th. I was just inside watching some of my older YouTube videos. One of them, I was talking about the FX30 and filming with the FX30 and the 11mm 1.8 lens, saying that that was going to be my setup. That was going to be my go-to camera. I had tried out the FX30 a while back, and then I got rid of it, and then I tried a couple of other cameras, and then ultimately decided I'm going to go back to the FX30. That would be my main video camera. Oh, why is the gate open? So I ended up getting the 18-105 f4. I bought that lens for a second time after I sold my original copy. And then I shot with the FX30 for a while. But then just started to realize I needed something, a camera that could do a little better with photos. The FX30 wasn't great with photos. It wasn't terrible, but switching from photo to video mode was a little complicated because you had to go into the menu and scroll and select. So it just wasn't the best option for traveling to do photo and video. Although I do mostly video now. I don't do a lot of photos when we travel. Majority of what I do is shoot video, but it's good. I do like to take some photos, especially for a thumbnail. So somewhere along the line, I have to go back and look, I decided to buy the Sony a7cii. I started, I wanted to get away from full frame because the lenses are so expensive, but there are some more affordable options now. So I said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get the Sony a7cii. It sounds like the best hybrid solution for me and for what I shoot. I think it's going to work. So I purchased it. I've been super happy with it. I think that this camera for me is better than my a7 IV. The autofocus is better. I think the colors are better. It's smaller, it's more compact. Again, for what I shoot, this is a better camera. And I use this one before I use the a7 IV. a7 IV is only if I need two cameras, or if it's something specifically related to photos, then I'll probably use the a7 IV. But even now, I contemplate either getting rid of the a7 IV or trading that one in and then maybe getting a ZV-E1, but I don't know if that's really a good option because that's really strictly just a video camera and I need something more hybrid. So here we are, almost a year later. Now we're on the a7cii. I had purchased the 20mm 1.8, which I have that lens. I also purchased the 24-105 f4, which is a great lens. I really love that lens because it's such a versatile lens at 24-105, but at 24 it's a little bit tight once you turn on the active stabilization, so that's the only downside. Plus it's a big lens, it's a heavy lens, but I can deal with it. The other thing I recently did was, my phone is going off. I purchased, after watching multiple videos, I just purchased this 16-35 f4 power zoom lens. It, to me, made a lot of sense. I had the 16-35 f2, the G Master lens version 1, but I never really used it for video or on rare occasions because it was such a heavy lens, a big lens. I certainly didn't want to travel with it. So I made the decision that I would get more use out of this 16-35 f4 power zoom than the G Master lens. So I traded that in. I bought this lens. This 16-35 power zoom is actually lighter than my 20mm 1.8. So on the gimbal, it's perfect. Plus it's a zoom, 16-35. That's very, for me, it opens a lot of options, and it makes, lets me get some different shots with one lens and I have to switch lenses around. So I don't think I'm gonna get rid of the 20mm because that's a great low light lens, being a 1.8, but I think the 16-35 is gonna be my main lens, especially on the gimbal. Right now on the gimbal, it's not overly heavy, I can hold it, and it's not a huge setup, and it's got the power zoom, which is nice. So I think right now this will be my go-to setup. Maybe in a year from now it'll be something different, but I gotta be a little more financially responsible. Things are getting expensive. I got a family I gotta take care of. Other things we wanna do, travel, and I just wanna be, spend my money wisely and not go crazy buying all kinds of gear. But I'm very happy with the a7cii. Like I said, for me, I think it's a better camera than the a7 IV for what I use it for. The a7 IV might be better in other areas, but certain aspects, but for what I do, a7C II is going to be the camera. Like I even at one point thought of maybe getting rid of the a7 IV for a second a7C II and have two matching bodies, but I don't know. That might be the better option. The ZV-E1, really the only benefit I think that has for me over the a7C II is the active stabilization, the 4K 120 without the crop. I don't have any 4K 120. I mean, I think I have it in 1080 HD, but I don't use that. I have 60 frames, you know, slow motion here, but it crops in. So that's the only real benefit I see in the ZV-E1, and I don't know if that really justifies purchasing it, because I can really do everything I need with the a7C II. Let me see. Work-related text messages. Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. The a7C II is going to be my go-to main camera with the 16-35 f4. I've also got the 20mm 1.8 and the 24-105 f4. Those are my three lenses. I've got the 70 to 200mm 2.8 G Master version 1. I think I'm very tempted to trade that lens for, there's the wife making the U-turn. She'll be home in a second, so I better wrap this up. I've debated trading in or getting rid of, swapping out my G Master 2.8 for the f4 version, the new version. I had the version 1 f4 70-200, and I loved that lens. It was super light. Autofocus was snappy. I mean, it was a great lens. It just was an f4. But I'm okay with that, you know, being an f4. I don't need 2.8 for everything. But anyway, I'm going to take this call and get this video up, and we'll talk later. Bill.